الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us in His glorious book about the ones who commit shirk, who associate others with Allah. This is in Surah An-Nisa in chapter 4 verses 117 and 118. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن يدعون من دونه إلا إناثا وإن يدعون إلا شيطانا مريدا لعنه الله وقال لأتخذن من عبادك نصيبا مفروضا. Instead of Allah, they only invoke female gods, and they actually invoke none but a rebellious Satan. Cursed by Allah, Satan said, I will surely take hold of a certain number of your servants. So the ones who associate others with Allah, in reality, they follow the devil. They follow Satan. Satan let his arrogance, take him away from Allah's mercy. That's what la'anahu Allah. La'na is the curse, is to be far away from Allah's mercy. And Allah didn't push him away. He pushed himself away by choosing not to bow to Adam and disobey a direct order from Allah. So because Allah cursed them, He had hatred to mankind, to you and I, to Adam and Hawa and all their progeny after them. His sole purpose in life is to delude man away from the path that Allah created for you. So Allah created a path for happiness. He tries to get you off of that path and get you to a path of disaster. That's His goal. And in the next verse, in verse 119, quoting the Satan, وَلَأُضِلَّنَّهُمْ وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلْيُبَتِّكُنَّ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ وَمَا يَتَّخِذِ الشَّيْطَانَ وَلِيًّا مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ فَقَدْ خَسِرَ خُسْرَانًا مُبِينًا. I will certainly mislead them and delude them with empty hopes. Also, I will order them that they will slit the ears of cattle and alter Allah's creation. And whoever takes Satan as a guardian instead of Allah has certainly suffered a tremendous loss. Every human being, ever since Adam till the end of time, they have a common nature. They want happiness and safety. Nobody wakes up in the day and says, Ya Allah, I want destruction. They are looking for happiness and safety by nature. That's how Allah designed them. So the target for humans that as Allah set is to reach heaven, is to be happy in this life and achieve eternal happiness in the hereafter. That's the goal. Now the goal of the shaitan is to divert you from that goal. That's the goal that Allah set, the straight path, the sirat al-mustaqim. That's the path that Allah set, and the devil wants to get you off of that. And how does he do that? Quoting him, وَلَأُضِلَّنَّهُمْ. He will mislead you away from your path to your happiness. The path to your happiness is here. He tells you, no, the grass is greener on the other side. Because he knows that when you veer from the correct path, you invite Allah's punishment. Because Allah is not going to let you go astray without punishing you to get you back to the straight path. That's how, from the mercy of Allah, that when we commit something wrong, Allah corrects you. Because He wants you to come back to Him, come back to that straight path. So that's the first trick that He has. He's going to misguide you. وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ. He'll fill you with empty hopes. You don't need to, don't need to repent. Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. Allah is most merciful. Keep going on that path. Allah will, the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will intercede on your behalf. These are empty hopes. You cannot stray from the path, insist on straying from the path, and expect Allah to forgive you. So these are empty hopes that the shaitan puts in you to keep you on your wrong path. Because if you go down the wrong path and you realize, I'm on the wrong path, you're going to turn around. The longer you stay on that path, the harder it is to get back. Now you're lost 1,000 miles. It's very hard to turn, you turn back when you're a mile or 2 miles into it. But he fills you with empty hopes in this life, and then you find out what the reality is at the time of death, وَلَيَادُ بِاللَّهِ, and we don't want to be that. The third thing is, وَلَأَمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلْيُبَتِّكُنَّ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ. He orders his followers to offer sacrifices for him, for Satan. And the reference here is for Arabs, because they created these idols, gave them female names, and they would get cattle, crop their ears, and mark them as sacrifice. You know, nobody is going to eat them. These are sacrifices for the god. So this is a metaphor for offering sacrifices. Some people offer themselves. Some people offer their children to Satan. Some people offer their wives, their family. So, Satan demands sacrifices for him at your detriment. And the part that I want to stress on that's very important in today's life, وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ. He will order you so you will alter the nature that Allah created. We see that every day today. And it's getting more and more prevalent. Allah Ta'ala created man and woman to be husband and wife in marriage, not to be boyfriend and girlfriend. The boyfriend and girlfriend setup and the cohabitation and all that stuff is from the work of the devil. These are from the delusion of the devil. The only path that Allah prescribed is marriage. Females were created to be mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts, not a toy for men or to sell products, which you see on TV every day. They cannot sell anything without putting a half-naked woman in there to use as a prop. That's what Allah did not create females for that. That's from the work of the devil. Men were created to be providers, protectors of their family. They were created to go out and labor and support their families while their wives are at home taking care of the children, nurturing them, and taking care of the family. Allah did not create men to stay at home, play games all day and all night and sleep all day, and send the women out to work. That is not Allah's design. You go against Allah's design, there'll be consequences. And we see the consequences. So Satan demands that man changes Allah's creation because he knows that that's the path to destruction. Don't eat meat, eat bugs. That's what they're telling you now. We don't want cows because, cows produce methane. You shouldn't eat meat, you should eat bugs. Allah designed the cows for man to eat, and cattle and meat and all that stuff. You stray from that, you become a vegetarian, you pay the price. Satan switched the role of men and women. Men were not meant to stay at home and raise the children while women go out and struggle to earn a living. That's not Allah's design. It may be a special case in certain, but that's not the norm. The norm is the opposite. Allah made boys to be boys and girls to be girls. They're trying now to push, if your boy is exhibiting manly attributes, they're calling it toxic masculinity, and they're attacking your boy. They want the boys to be like girls and the girls to be like boys. That goes against Allah's design, and we pay the price when you do that. Same-sex marriage. Allah created man and woman. That's, created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. It's Adam and Eve. There is no such thing as same-sex marriage. They can invent all they want, give it whatever terminology they want. This is against Allah's design, and we'll pay the price. And right now in schools all over this country, they're pushing pornography on 8 and 10-year-old kids as a curriculum in school. I don't know if you saw that in the news. In Dearborn, the Muslim population there is up in arms. They're introducing pornography to their kids all kinds of deviant behavior. And here's a contact number of homosexuals if you want to go and contact them and learn about their lifestyle. Allahu Akbar. They're doing it in Texas, in Florida, in Utah, of all places. In everywhere. It's a concerted effort countrywide. We're coming up to elections starting next week. Please, if you like that, vote for the people who are pushing this garbage. So you lose your kids. And if you lose your kids, it doesn't matter how much you achieved in this life. You lose your kids, you'll pay for it for the rest of eternity, not even your life. This is what's going on, and you need to be aware of the work of the devil and what he's doing. They're telling you, your kids don't belong to you. They belong to the society. We'll decide what's good for them. That's not God's design. We will not stand for it because that's not Allah's design. We have to be aware of what they're pushing or what they're trying to achieve and the tricks of the devil. And changing Allah's design is one of those tricks. And Allah says, يَعِدُهُمْ وَيُمَنِّيهِمْ وَمَا يَعِدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا in verse 120. Satan only makes them false promises and deludes them with empty hopes. Truly, Satan promises them nothing but delusion. And delusion is when you see something other than what its true nature is. You see it bigger than what it actually is, or smaller than what it actually is. That's what delusion is. When you say somebody is deluded, their vision does not match reality. So delusion is to see adultery as the path to happiness, not marriage. Adultery is the way to depression, dishonor, and destruction. That's what the reality of it is. The delusion is the grass is greener on the other side. No, it's not. Robbing a bank is the way to achieve, if I go rob the bank, I will be set for life. Then I wouldn't, need any more money. No, it's the path to go to jail or worse. Hurting others is not the path to honor. If people fear you, they don't like you. You want people to honor you, you serve them. You serve them and they will honor you. Transitioning girls to boys and boys to girls and all the stuff that they're pushing for money. Doctors and hospitals are doing that for money because they know once they get this girl that somehow thinks I should be a boy, and now they put them under the knife and they have mastectomies and all kinds of stuff. They have a lifetime of problems and they commit suicide most of the time before they're even in their 20s. This is what following Satan and following his methods will get you. Allah's design is the only perfect design. You try to come up with a competing design, it's a downgrade. You're not going to design anything better than what Allah put. And we have to understand that. Any alternate design is a downgrade and leads to problems and certain failure. So we must return to Allah's design. And Allah's design is spelled out in the Quran and the authentic Sunnah. He told us why we're here, what we're supposed to do, what to do in every situation. He did not leave anything of importance to our happiness in this life and in this hereafter, except that He put that in there. You just have to find it. Following the devil leads to disasters and to a great loss. And societal problems, we see it today, societal problems, diseases, wars, conflict, crime. These are all consequences of veering from Allah's design and thinking we can do better. It's like a fancy jewelry box with a nice bow tie on it. A thief comes in, grabs it, and runs away with it, thinking it's a diamond, he's going to be set for life. He opens it up, and there's garbage in there. Somebody's playing a trick on him. They put garbage in that jewelry box, wrapped it nicely, and here he thought he was going to be rich and find out, open it, and find out it's garbage. That's how life is. The life of the ones who follow Satan, that's the metaphor for their life. They think they got something valuable, they run with it, their life ends, and then they find out that they had garbage all along. So we have to be cognizant of Satan's tricks, and we have to be on guard protecting ourselves, our families, and our children's. You cannot just send your children to school and just kind of somebody's responsibility. It's your responsibility to raise your children. Daily, you need to interrogate them. What did they learn in school? What garbage is being pushed into their minds, especially if you send them to public school. That's why we need to have our own schools. I mean, if there is a time where the importance of having our own school, I mean, I was blessed. I moved from Indiana to here to put my children in IFS. I don't care what the cost was, it was more than worth it. Because I am sure if anyone putting his kids in public school and you're not paying attention and you're not observing what they're putting in their mind and correcting it, you're going to be sorry. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه الغفور الرحيم.